books look pretty much like this one, with the standard 4 lines so that anyone, anywhere, with the right training and a bit of gumption could read the tune. The 5th line, that we're familiar with, by the way, was added for other sorts of music in the 14th century. What Guido was trying to do was cut down the learning of the Gregorian chant from 10 years to 1. He himself had been a chorister. Indeed, the people of Tala suggest that he might have begun his life in the church as a young lad in this 10th century settlement, the Badia di Santa Trinita, hidden away deep in the Pratomagno woods high above the town. This is what Guido himself wrote. Therefore, I have decided, with God's help, to write this book in such a way that any intelligent and studious person may learn the chant by means of it. Should anyone doubt that I am telling the truth, let him come to learn and see that small boys can do this under our direction, boys who until now have been beaten for their gross ignorance of the Psalms. Guido's methods certainly revolutionized the teaching of singing, but what he could never have foreseen was that his new lined notation would have one other dramatic effect on the course of Western music, making it truly a big bang. Because it could now be written down, a much more sophisticated variety of music could exist that didn't rely on one person's memory. In other words, Guido paved the way for the emergence of a new, distinct species of musician, composers. Before the advent of notation, European music, like all the others in the world, was basically an improvised form in the hands of skilled performers. After Guido, the responsibility shifted dramatically from the performer to the new breed of specialist composer. Anonymous church musicians had already started experimenting with a primitive form of harmony. But the ability to see the notes laid out graphically on the page vastly accelerated the growth of a technique whereby one combined 2 voice lines together, 2 simultaneous tunes, that is, or counterpoint. It took composers about another 200 years to pluck up the courage to write 3 lines together. Another 150 years later, they could manage 4 parts, which became something of a standard for the next few centuries. Of course, adventurous composers mixed and matched the parts, so you could have a bit of solo, a bit of 2-part, a bit of 3-part, a bit of 4-part, and so on, all in one piece. Works of great beauty followed. One of them, Allegri's Miserere, was thought by the Pope to be too powerful and spiritually disturbing for ordinary mortals, and he decreed that it should only be performed once a year by his own choir. Making a copy of the piece would be punished by excommunication, and the masters were kept under lock and key in the Vatican. However, the Pope had not reckoned with the ability of a 14-year-old boy to hear the piece once, then return to his lodgings and write the entire thing out from memory. It lasts, by the way, about 15 minutes. He then smuggled the illegal copy of the music out of Rome and thereby cheekily broke the official embargo. The young man in question was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. No notation, no Mozart. No Mozart, no Miserere. Here is the choir of Christ Church Cathedral, Oxford, and an extract from Allegri's Miserere Mei. Composers were able to create music that couldn't possibly have been conceived just through spontaneous playing. What's more, they were able to construct forms and shapes for long pieces that were way, way beyond the capabilities of a normal person's short-term memory. Perhaps architecture